Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of the SWUS College Football Week 4. We got a Thursday night game here. Rice Charlotte. Let's talk about it.
I mean, is Cooper Rush worth 2.5 points?
I would hope Quinn Ewers put up a decent stat line against Arizona State. If he didn't, we have a real problem.
You can say the same thing about Creighton. Okay, they had the one good game against Kansas at home.
When Toast talks about the kicking market, it's like some earth is flat shit. Andy, true or false, this is going to be a dog walking.
Dog walking. This is my dog walking of the day. I think it's going to be very ugly. Dog walking. I think this is going to be ugly.
Hey, get the sauce. All right, Rice Charlotte, American Athletic Conference. If you're not an AAC guy, I'll give you a quick rundown of what's going on with this Rice program. So last year, Rice is in pretty good shape. It was year 7 for Bloomgren. He had a ton of returning production. They brought in EJ Warner to play quarterback through the transfer portal. Expectations were pretty high. There were the vibes were high, I'll say, with Rice entering the 2024 season. I was a buyer. A lot of people were. We thought Rice was going to have a real nice year last season. It was an absolute disaster. They were terrible. Last year was a train wreck for Rice. So Bloomgren gets fired. They're bringing Scott Abel to be the new head coach. And if you're wondering, what's the point? Why are you telling me this? What makes this interesting is Scott Abel runs the option. He's been the head coach at Davidson the last 6 or 7 years. He ran an option offense, and they had one of the best offenses in the FCS multiple times. So Scott Abel comes in, and Rice is now running the option offense. So last year, they went from a quarterback-centered, pass-first offense with E.J. Warner and Bloomgren as head coach to an option offense. We're talking about a complete 180 here for this Rice program. This is now a slow-paced, run-first offense. So how's it working out so far? Well, you'd have to say pretty good. They went on the road and beat Louisiana. They were a 2-touchdown underdog. I think it closed it under that, but they beat Louisiana outright in the opener. Then they played Houston tough. Houston scored a couple times late to make it look like they beat them handedly, but they really didn't. You'd have to say so far it's working out pretty well. The thing with the option offense is it doesn't always look pretty on paper. Like if you look at those first 2 games against Louisiana and Houston, it looks like the offense was terrible, and it wasn't great, but what the option offense does is it drains the clock and it stays on the field. So obviously that's advantageous in terms of winning a football game. So you got to say so far it's been a successful experiment for Rice. They're sitting at 2-1 entering this game, road game against Charlotte. Now on the Charlotte side, they are off to a really rough start here. They have a new era themselves. Tim Albin is now the head coach, which I think most college football heads would say is a great hire. Tim Albin was with the Ohio Bobcats. They just won the MAC. He just won the MAC championship game last year. So they got a new head coach here, not off to the same type of start that Rice is. Granted, Tim Albin doesn't have a ton of talent to work with here. I think he will because Charlotte does have some resources. But in terms of this year's team, it's not exactly loaded with talent. If you look at their first 2 games against App State and North Carolina, the defense was actually okay. I mean, these defensive numbers aren't terrible. The offense, basically non-existent. So can they stop the Rice offense? It's tough with the option because I'm a data guy, and on paper, this Rice offense isn't very good, but it's tricky and it's tough to get off the field. I really have no idea if Charlotte's defense can stop this Rice offense. What I do know is I think Rice is going to be missing their center in this game, David Stickle. It's Stickle. Is it Sticky or Stickle? I'm sorry. I apologize for that. But I think Rice is going to be missing their center in this one, and he's the returning starter from last year's offensive line. He's the center. He's kind of the anchor there, the experienced returning starter. So they're going to be missing their center with an option offense, obviously a run-first offense. That could be big. I think Charlotte could put up a good defensive effort. Again, I don't really feel strongly about this. On the other side of the ball, is Charlotte going to be able to move the ball consistently, though? In the first 2 games, the Charlotte offense was terrible. In week 3, Connor Harrell kind of had himself a breakout game, threw for 382 yards with monster numbers. Real nice-looking stat line here. It was against Monmouth, though, so I guess we had to take it with a grain of salt. Look, I don't really know what to do with this game. I want to take Charlotte, but the truth is, if you liked Charlotte, you should have betted at over a field goal early in the week. It's at 2 now, so it looks like they have been taking Charlotte money. I'll say Charlotte and under for the video, but I really don't feel strongly about this one. Seems like everyone really likes Rice, and I get why, but they opened this up 4.5 or whatever, and they've been taking Charlotte money. So some sharp action coming in on the Charlotte side. Yeah, give me the 49ers here in the under. But again, I don't have a bet on the game. Maybe I'll play something for fun.